The Gulf bracing for Tropical Storm Lee, if you can believe that, while the cleanup continues from Hurricane Irene, and the news is not good for homeowners. According to a survey by J.D. Power, nearly 20% do not have enough insurance to rebuild their home if it's destroyed by a disaster. And Irene certainly was one. State Farm has already received more than 52,000 claims. Time to let the Willis watchdogs out. George Jargasi is the managing member of John Thomas Capital Management Group in Houston. Ben Ferguson is a radio talk show host in Memphis, and Masa Sahidi is an attorney and former contestant on The Apprentice. George, let's start with you. I mean, this isn't too surprising to me. That's very difficult to get enough insurance to have your house covered.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the insurance there, and you think that people ought to look at that. And what I think is in America we've got too big of houses, and when you look at the generation of baby boomers getting older, we need smaller houses and less square footage as we go forward anyways.
Ben, do we need smaller houses? Or are we just too greedy with the size of our houses?
No. Look, you should be able to buy however big of a house you want. I mean, that is the American dream. I don't want anybody telling me what size house I can or can't have. But more importantly, the insurance industry is pretty jacked up. I mean, I live on the Mississippi River. You saw the floods that happened. They say I'm not in a floodplain, yet they're building up burrows around my neighborhood, and I can't even drive there without them saving the road. So I'm calling after the flood saying, can I not get insurance? They're like, oh, you're not in a floodplain, Mr. Ferguson. I'm sorry. There was literally water on my street, and you're telling me the government won't give me the insurance. They said, no, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, you tell me if I'm going to have a hard time selling my house.
Well, I hate to break the news. There's a 30-day waiting period anytime you buy national flood insurance.
Sure, but they're saying I'm not even eligible.
Well,
no, afterwards. They're saying now, as of today, for next year or the year after, they're saying the government says where I live, I'm not in a floodplain. All of the neighborhood tried to call before and after. They're saying even now I'm still not eligible because the government says I don't live in a floodplain. I mean, that's how screwed up this is.
Federal government at work, Masa. What do you say?
I think that, Americans are not properly covered for floods. Irene cost billions, and as usual, it's going to be the taxpayer that's on the hook for that. Part of the problem is the general lack of coverage in the Northeast, but a big problem, Jerry, not enough people are talking about is the NFIP. It's billions in debt. It's broken because tax-funded insurance is not insurance. It's a redistribution of wealth. It's always going to remain broken because only the market can measure risk and find the right price. So,
can I tell you how crazy it is that little old ladies in Omaha pay for people to have their $1 billion beachfront house insured? That makes me crazy. Now that makes me crazy.
Amen.
Build the house of your dreams, but pay for your own insurance.
Exactly.
All right. A quarter of U.S. workers are affected by insomnia, and that's costing businesses more than $63 billion. According to a study by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, on average, U.S. workers lose 11 days of productivity each year due to insomnia. Ben, do you stay home when you don't sleep? Really? Is that how this works?
I mean, I usually take Mondays and Thursdays and a little part of the day Friday off, unless you call, of course, then I'm here. But no, I mean, let's do a study on Facebook. Seriously, I guarantee you that companies are losing more productivity because of Facebook and social media than they're losing off insomnia. I haven't found too many coworkers asleep on the keyboard lately. Maybe I work with tough working people. I don't know.
Masa?
I think, productivity is an issue at work, but Americans are so over-medicated that I don't think that giving us more medicine is, going to fix anything. But also, this study was funded by a company that has a new sleeping pill on the market, so maybe we should take that into consideration, Jerry.
How did that happen, Masa? George, what do you say?
Well, I'm with her. I think that the sleeping pill company, the mattress company all got together and had this study. If you look in the history of the world, we've never been this productive. You've got people drinking Red Bull and supercharged coffee, and we're working longer and more productive with the internet than we ever have been. So we're doing a great job as Americans with productivity.
We are the most productive people on the planet. All right, Amazon.com offering to build distribution centers and hire 1,000 workers if California drops its sales tax collection law. Companies bribing the government seems to be a new trend. AT&T just tried it with the Justice Department earlier this week. Masa?
Well, 0 jobs were created last month, as you know, Jerry, and I think what you see companies like AT&T and Amazon doing is they're trying to dangle jobs in front of the government, do a little bit of wheeling and dealing, but, California should ask what's going to create more growth? Is it going to be 7,000 more jobs, or is it going to be the sales tax? But as usual, California is going to make the wrong choice and get one step closer to just ruin in general, Jerry.
Poor California. They get slagged so often. You guys, I'm sorry, we're out of time. Great job, panel. George, Ben, Masa, thank you so much for helping us out
Have
today.
a good weekend.